Boom. Hey, Count. How you doing? Happy birthday. Happy 20th birthday. And for me, 20 was a really important year. Was a culmination of several teenage years of struggle. And at 20, I've decided that I'd had as much as I could handle of struggle, and I wanted things to be smoother. And so I really did all I could to make it that way. Um, Actually, that was the start of my bike messenger career. Working Monday through Friday, year after year, for like a decade, and that's how I kept things stable. And it's interesting. I think that I mentioned to you, like, as you reach 20, um, different things. From 20 to 30, um, as you reach 30, different things and priorities coalesce. The amount of information and things you've tried as a young adult really starts to add up. And for a lot of people I talk to, like 30 seems significant to them. Things really started to take off at 30. I guess, but I really almost think that by the time this could happen at any age, I'm sure. But at some point in time, you just realize you can do, for the most part, what you want. It's just a matter of planning and hard work, and not giving up, and looking for avenues. If something's not working, what other ways can you make it work, or how close can you get it to what you were trying to get, that kind of thing. So, here's to I've got some German malt liquor. Here's to uh, the long journey, my friend, and the discoveries you have to make. It'll be good times. All right, enough birthday shenanigans. Um, let's touch base on words really fast before we bring this brief malt liquor. It's called Schwarz. May the Schwarz be with you. Um, Two things: the confusion of the signage, and what I was talking about, and I would probably rarely try to talk about humanity as a whole. There's so much going on for people, and like I said, like, those signs are for people when they're confused, and some people walk in the door confused. Some people's whole life is going to be confused, and I think that there's a whole lot of different reasons for that, and the only feeling I have on it is I hope that for many of these people that are living a life of confusion, that they strive to figure things out. And I see that. I mean, most people glance at that sign and then immediately ask me a question about it. And one thing about that is taking a moment to think. I really wish that we need that on bumper stickers. Um, I mean, do people know that it's okay to take a moment to think? I could often tell sometimes, actually, when people do need a moment to think, they try to give, especially if I'm dealing with them, they try to give me something to do, or they ask me like a general question. Oh, hey, can you just tell me the sequence of colors in a rainbow really fast? And I'm like, well, you know what? Rather than ask me about rainbow colors, why don't you just take a moment to think? I can tell you need to think. So I too can do some thinking, and I too have things I could get done and work on. If you need to think, just say, hey, can you give me a moment? I need to think this out. Oh gosh, I would love that. One thing that I hear that I do love, and I just want to gather people up in my arms when they say this. Some people take a moment to think, and then they turn to me and say, I don't know what's going on. I love it when that happens, and it happens fairly often, and every time it happens, I treat that person like they're my son, or they're my daughter, or they're me. I treat them like they're another aspect of me. And because it seems to me that they're not there, they are confused, and they recognize it, and they don't want to be, and they think that their best option after thinking about it and not coming to a conclusion is to ask somebody for assistance, and then they'll listen to that, and then they'll see if they come up with a conclusion then. I love it. I really, when someone says something like that to me, I really just want to give them a hug. Uh, you know, a part of me wishes that they didn't ever have to say to somebody else, I don't know what's going on. But the fact that they have the intelligence and the bravery to admit it, and in many cases admit it to a stranger, it endears me to them. Yeah. So that statement, we're not all going to change by exposure to ideas, but some of the people who are going to change by exposure to these things are going to be the brave ones that admit they don't understand. And the reason why they admit it is because they're then waiting to receive information that will help them understand, that they will think in their own mind, is this person telling me something that now makes things seem sense? Makes things make some sense? Seems like some sense? Some sensicalness? Yeah. And then the other thing about the keys in the prison, I would rather not explain that. I think that explaining what that means to me is might take away from what it means to you, or how you might use that phrase as a tool to spur you to some action or a pathway of thought. I will tell you one thing about that. A part of that we're in a prison, and that we do have access to a lot of the keys, and we might have access to all the keys, is a lovely woman once said to me, your fears can keep your dreams prisoner. Fear can keep your dreams prisoner. My fear, I'm like, oh, not my fear. Like, I'm in charge of my fear, you know? But I'm not entirely, but it would be up to me to surrender to it. And if fear tells me something, I'm like, first of all, fear. Fear is not my way of life. Fear is not my religion. Fear can be an excellent counselor if fear is suggesting possible dangers, suggesting that maybe things could be adjusted to lessen the danger. You know, if you're going to roll the dice, you want to minimize the risks, right? And sometimes what fear has to say is very important. But fear isn't going to tell me that I can't go on a vacation to Jamaica by myself. Fear isn't going to tell me that I can't take a class, and I might not be smart enough to figure out what it is. Our fear isn't going to tell me that I can't build something because, well, it might just fall apart, or people will laugh at it because it's put together so poorly. No, fear doesn't get that kind of power in my life, and I realize that the decision I came to that point of view had a lot to do with the prison and had a lot to do with the keys. And so, there. So for not explaining it, I kind of went on and on. All right, Count. This thick glass German bottle. Wow. I can barely make it ring. All right. Happy 20th, my friend. And boom.